He started with nothing. No kingdom, no army, no throne. Abandoned as a child after his father was poisoned, Temujin and his family were cast out into the harsh Mongolian steppe. Betrayed by rival tribes and left to starve, he learned quickly that survival depended on strength, loyalty, and absolute resolve. The world he was born into was divided. Mongol tribes fought endlessly over land, horses, and power. Alliances shifted constantly. Weakness meant death. Trust was rare. But Temujin saw opportunity in chaos. Instead of relying on noble bloodlines, he promoted warriors based on merit. Skill mattered more than ancestry. Loyalty mattered more than status. Discipline was absolute. Slowly, tribe by tribe, he defeated or united his enemies. Some joined him willingly, others were crushed completely. By the year 1206, the Mongol tribes were united under one banner. Temujin received a new name, Genghis Khan, ruler of all who lived in tents. But uniting Mongolia was only the beginning. The Mongol army was unlike anything the world had ever seen. Every warrior was trained from childhood. They mastered horseback riding before they could walk properly. They could fire arrows with deadly accuracy while riding at full speed. Speed became their greatest weapon. A Mongol army could travel over 100 kilometers in a single day. They carried dried meat and fermented milk, allowing them to survive with minimal supplies. They needed no long supply chains. They lived off the land. Their tactics were revolutionary. They divided into smaller units, moved independently, and regrouped unexpectedly. They used feigned retreats to lure enemies into traps. They gathered intelligence before attacking. But perhaps their most powerful weapon was fear. If a city resisted, it was destroyed entirely. The population was slaughtered. The message was clear: resist and be erased. But if a city surrendered peacefully, it was spared. Trade continued. Life resumed. News of total destruction spread faster than the Mongol horses themselves. Soon, many cities surrendered without a fight. Northern China fell first. The powerful Jin Dynasty collapsed under relentless attacks. Then Central Asia. Then Persia. Entire empires that had stood for centuries crumbled within years. Walls that had never been breached were reduced to rubble. The Mongol expansion continued westward. By the time their armies reached Eastern Europe, they had already built the largest continuous land empire in human history. From the Pacific Ocean to the borders of Hungary, their empire stretched across continents. No empire before them had expanded so quickly. Yet the Mongol Empire was not only destruction. Under Mongol rule, the Silk Road flourished again. Trade between East and West increased dramatically. Merchants traveled safely under Mongol protection. Ideas, technologies, and cultures spread across thousands of kilometers. Paper money moved westward. Gunpowder knowledge spread. Diplomats traveled between distant kingdoms. For a time, the Mongol Empire connected the world in ways never seen before, but the cost was immense. Historians estimate that millions of people died during the Mongol conquests. Entire cities vanished from maps. Populations were displaced. Borders were permanently altered. The balance of global power shifted forever. When Genghis Khan died in 1227, his empire did not collapse. Instead, it continued expanding under his sons and grandsons. Kublai Khan would go on to rule China and establish the Yuan dynasty. The empire eventually fractured into separate khanates, but its influence remained powerful for generations. The Mongol military system changed warfare. Their trade networks reshaped global economics. Their conquests redrew the map of Eurasia. A boy abandoned in the steppe became one of the most powerful figures in human history, and the empire he built still echoes through time.